Hi. Let me just change the sticker because I'm not talking about Helene Hatzel today. Well, maybe just a little bit. But I'm talking about how to manifest, or rather get rid of your money blocks. I'm going to put Tag Powell's book title there. And what I'm doing is I'm doing my accounting. Actually, I should take you first to warm up my tea. But what happened this week is I've been doing a lot of inner work. Oh my gosh, I forgot to turn on the lights. So I've been doing a lot of inner work and removing some blocks that I've had around money, because I did a series on YouTube about my going through a reading I had from Sarah Jordan, and how she was helping me remove those blocks. Might as well just leave this light on in case I have to come back out. And I went through them one at a time. And one of the things that I realized is I really began to listen to my inner voice and what I was saying to myself around money. Because what's happening is, even though I've been making the same amount of money, I've been adding products. So technically, my business was actually getting smaller. That's not good. Well, so a couple things I've been doing. I've been doing Brad Yates on YouTube, doing some of his tapping, different ones. I've been doing my Silva Method meditations, and I've been doing my own book, because the universe has a sense of humor. I was on the Silva Manifesting course, and I was talking to Nancy about this problem I was having, and she said to me, well, what's your latest book about? And I had some in my bag, and I pulled it out. And she looked at me and she's like, did you actually do the book, or did you just edit and update the book? Did you actually go through and do all the exercises? I'm like, no, I didn't do any of the exercises. She's like, really? So I printed it out. I printed out the action page, because here's the 10. So it's 10 action steps. So I actually printed it out. Isn't that silly that I didn't even do my own book? So here are the 10 action plans to riches. Step 1, read this book all the way to the end. This will give you an understanding of the principles, because there's 10 principles. 2, read and practice the alphabetic programming techniques. Utilize the bonus script for an alphabetic tape to start you on your way. So this is kind of tapping into the Silva method, because Tag Powell was a Silva instructor. So I printed out, this is actually the PDF. I gave everybody a free PDF, because not everybody likes to write in books. So what I did was, you get a, if you go online, there's a URL in the book, and it's a free workbook that you can download when you buy the book. And I've got the lessons here. Lesson 2, 3, 5, and 9 have exercises that you're supposed to do. Well, some people don't want to write in their book, and this way you can just do this, or you can use a journal. And, you know, lesson 3 has an inventory, so I printed all those, and I started doing them, but I've been doing them in a journal. And the alphamatics are saying, so I'll give you some of those. Review lesson, and then it says step 3, review lesson 1 and 2 and practice ideas for a full week while using alphamatics 2 or 3 times a day. So he wants you to just go over 1 and 2 for a week and say the alphamatics, and then do 3 and 4 for a week. So this takes like a good 6 weeks to do if you do it fully. But the idea is you're building your, you're rewriting your subconscious mind. So I'll give you an example. The first alphamatics, right? So at the end, he gives you the lesson 1 alphamatics. And it says, I deserve my riches and enjoy them. Each day I become more successful in my money dealing. So you're repeating those 2 statements to yourself morning, noon, and night every day for a week. Then you're going to add on 3 and 4. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So each week It's like going to the gym, right? You just don't immediately go in and start bench pressing 300, right? Well, unless you're already buff, not the average Joe. You start off slow. Like I started body pump at the gym on Wednesdays. And believe me, I put the baby weights on to start. I moved up to medium for some of them, but it's the last class. We were doing the bench presses. I had gone up and then I was like, okay, I'm done. And then I was just doing my arms because like sore. So it's just like that. So you got to still build your money strength. So one of the things I caught myself doing, and this is what I want everybody to do. I did a little video on this and I shared it around, but I thought I would get some encouragement and do this with you. One of the things I've been saying, and you have to watch your inner voice. It's very important. You have to watch your inner voice. I own my own business, and I'm a one-woman show in the sense of I don't have an assistant one day, but I have a webmaster. I have an editor that I work with who helps me do things for the books because sometimes it's a problem, So she's been helping me lay out. She reviews anything I write, make sure, it's going out this top notch. And then I have a producer who's helping me with all the Audible books because he has a proper studio. He has all the equipment. He knows how to edit sound. He knows what he's listening for. I basically call him the ear because he hears things I have no idea. But I have to do my own accounting. And I've had my own business since 1996. So I've had to do my books or have a bookkeeper or something. But there's things that the bookkeeper can't do. So I get all the receipts and everything, and I organize files like here's the phone, here's the car, here's I make all the files. And here's my invoices. And, technically I have 3 companies because I invoice as Contest Queen because I teach people how to win giveaways. I invoice as Idea Majesty because I'm a sweepstakes marketer. And I invoice as Words for Winning. Well, I don't actually invoice as Words for Winning because I get paid by Amazon and Kindle and Kobo and all these companies. They're, book royalties. So I have a lot of different, pieces to the pie, and I don't like accounting. And I always say the accounting's the bane of my existence, yada, yada, yada. The other day I was like, what am I saying? What am I saying? Reading these books, doing the tapping, doing the Amy Jo Ellis. I gotta show you this. You can buy her books. I printed them out. They're $5 each. She has 4 or 5 books. Anyway, so her first book is Healing Your Family Tree. But the one I'm doing is Making Peace with Money by Amy Jo Ellis. And you put yourself in the Court of Atonement. So let me read you her story because it's what really triggered me to listen to myself when I deal with this. So she was not doing, okay, let's see. Oh, okay, here's her story. She said, stop lying to yourself. In order to break our old habits around the way we think about money, the first thing we need to do is to stop lying to ourselves that we have no money. This is a big issue for me. At first, I couldn't see that I was lying to myself about money. We needed about $2,000 every month to pay our bills, and we're not making nearly enough to pay all of them. Many of us find ourselves in that boat. I remember in the middle of things being extremely tight, someone asked me to go to the movies with them, and I said, I don't have enough money. I can't afford to go. Another person had asked me if I could make a donation to the animal welfare group, and I told her, I'm sorry, I don't have enough money to give anything right now. And on I went saying what I thought was the truth. This time of extremely financial distress was the reason I chose to have a conversation with money. Listen to that. I'm going to have a conversation with money. We are having serious financial troubles. To keep my mind out of the seeming ever-present worry, I was watching the movie The Secret constantly throughout the day. Good idea. Positive thinking. I'm watching, as I do my accounting, Born Rich by Bob Proctor on YouTube. It's free. So she says, I would put the movie on in the morning and let it play all day behind anything else I was doing. So it's great. It's subliminal. It's kind of in the background. You're listening to positive words. And then one day I decided to play the director's cut and listen to the author's comments. Rhonda Byrne was saying, this message is so important. You have to fall in love with money. The statement struck a chord with me. I began asking myself, how can I fall in love with money? Money isn't alive. I would need to personify money. And I realized I knew a role-playing trick that would allow me to personify money. I grabbed 2 pairs of shoes. This is brilliant. I grabbed 2 pairs of shoes and told myself that when I was standing in the brown shoes, I was going to act like myself. And when I was standing in the black shoes, I would only speak the thoughts of money. So I stood in the brown shoes and thought, what do I need to say to money? And nothing came to mind. Then I stood in the black shoes and I soon found myself tapping my toe angrily with my hands on my hips. Suddenly I turned to the brown shoes and said, really? You have nothing to say to me? And the conversation began. I was surprised to find that money had a lot of angry things to say. I kept standing in the black shoes with my hands on my hips, shouting at the brown shoes. You are always lying and telling people that you don't have enough money. There is enough money in your sock drawer to go to the movies or to make a donation. You lied. This blew my mind. Those shoes were right. I had lied. I had at least an inch of coins covering the bottom of my sock drawer. I could have easily gathered up some change and gone to the movies or given a few dollars as a donation. I realized at that moment that I had been caught in the loop of talking about not having any money because I was facing the quickly approaching due date of $2,000 worth of bills with nothing scheduled to come in. A few years later, when I began to speak to my guides, they told me if you had acted out of faith that more money was coming, the solutions to your troubles would have presented themselves much sooner. Instead, you chose to stay in that I don't have any money. Your life is a direct result of the words you speak. So if you say that you do not have any money today, you will experience not having any money tomorrow. This is a huge lesson for all of us. What we speak about today, we bring about tomorrow. Because what's happening in the present is an echo of our past. Remember this lesson the next time you hear yourself saying something negative about anything. So this is when I started realizing what I was saying about my accounting. Accounting's the bane of my existence. Really? I should be so blessed to have books to keep because I am blessed to own my own business and to be the master of my own schedule and to create things that help people. I have helped people change their lives, whether it be with sweepstakes, whether it be with their mindset, right? Right? Kelly, I'm not saving people. I'm just helping people change their minds and learn something new, like a teacher. Just like if you're taking a class, you learn something new, whether it be math or pottery. That's where I'm at. Right? So I help people. Oh, that's very thoughtful. Thank you. I appreciate that. That is nice to hear. So see, that's a good way to spread positivity. And that's what I do too. I spread positivity. And I teach a lot from my own experience and from my own mistakes because I figure I'm not the only one making these mistakes. And so if I can teach others how not to do what I'm doing, then maybe they can shortcut to the solution faster than me. So I was hearing myself. So I thought, no, I have to be grateful and appreciate that I have these expense reports to finish for the accountant. Because if I didn't have the expense reports, that means I wouldn't have my own business. I wouldn't have any expenses to expense. I wouldn't have all these receipts, right? I have them because I have the business. So if they disappeared, so would my business. So I should be happy that it takes me quite a bit of time to type out an Excel spreadsheet, because that means my business is busy and successful and I'm creating. And in that creation, I sometimes have expenses. Brilliant, right? I mean, it cost me money to get these books printed, right? It cost me money to pay the graphic designer who created the cover, right? It cost me money to have someone edit what I wrote inside this book. So I buy the rights to out-of-print books from either their authors or the publishers. And then I write. So the foreword was written by me. So I had to pay somebody to edit my work to make sure that it honored Tag's legacy the best as possible. Right? So it all, there's a little bit of money involved. And then all my time, right? Things like that. And then I had banners made. If you ever watch my YouTube lives, you'll see I have banners. Oh, I was working on my 4th Audible book today. And one trick I learned is that when you're recording, you should have green apple with you, because in between bites, it's something, it removes the out of your mouth, so you're not smacking as much as you talk. It's weird. Anyway, I've been so busy, I didn't have time to get green apple. I thought it's fine. I don't need it. I did a lot with the first book without it. Oh my gosh, I sure noticed it today. I thought, whoo, I need to buy green apple next time. I told the producer that. I go, oh, I didn't realize how important it actually was. Anyway, let's go back to this, what Amy Jo was saying. And her books are only $5, so you can go get your own and do this, because I'm going to show you what a Court of Atonement is. So anyway, I'm just blessed that I have this accounting. So I'm going to do some accounting and talk to you about it while I'm blessing my own money. People always ask, how can I communicate in a way that expresses what's going on? I am in need of some financial relief. This statement moves you in the direction of where you want to go. Referring to your current conditions in the past tense will also help you communicate without attracting. Listen to what that says. Referring to current conditions in the past tense will also help you communicate without attracting. Last week, the bank called. I could sure use some extra money right now. This statement communicates the difficulty yet creates in the right direction. When I first started working in the way I communicate about money, things are extremely tight in Puerto Rico. A hurricane had taken out the ferry dock, and with it a steady stream of tourists who used our bike shop. A friend invited me to go on a sightseeing trip with her and another friend. I really wanted to join them, but our bank account was empty. Instead of saying I can't afford to go, I remember saying, I'm still recovering from purchasing $7,000 worth of bicycles in January. I would need a miracle. I would love to rent a lot of bikes in the next few days so I could afford to go. That's a big difference in what she said. That afternoon, a large sailing schooner sailed into the bay. It was a luxury cruise ship that's dedicated to the rich and famous. It was on its way to San Juan when a storm came up, so they chose to stay overnight in the shelter of our large bay. In the 10 years I lived there, this had never happened before. This is manifesting 101, right? That night, a few dozen millionaires came ashore to the restaurant where I was singing. I ended up with over $500 in tips. During my show, I told them about the bike shop we owned upstairs and that they should come up in the morning and visit with us. The next day, dozens of them came in and rented snorkel gear, kayaks, and bicycles. One lady even looked around the shop at all of my paintings that were hanging to decorate the shop. She asked if they were for sale. I told her, today they are. They are not priced, but I was thinking around $200 each. I said, feel free to make me an offer. She purchased all 5 of the paintings and paid me $1,200. She told me my prices were too low. I believe that is the windfall, is a direct result of me saying, I need a miracle. I need to rent a lot of bikes so I can afford to go along, instead of saying I can't afford to go. In case you didn't figure it out, I got to go on the trip with my friends. I figured out how to say what I meant instead of talking about poverty. The way to stop your negative dialogue about money is to give yourself something else to say instead. Instead of, I don't have enough money to pay my bills, how about, I have more than enough money to pay less than half of my bills this month. I'm still watching for the miracle so I can pay the rest. I can already hear people saying, I don't want other people knowing my business around money. Lying to your friends is the problem, so find another way to say it. I'm saving up to do something else with my money right now. In the act of good faith, I'm choosing to decline. Always say I'm choosing instead of have to. You see the difference there? I'm choosing. Yes, it is a great story. You have to go, Amy, can I put it in the comments? I think I can put her name in the comments. I'm going to comment with her name so you can see it. Amy Jo Ellis. And you can go find her website and download her books. They're only $5 each. She has, I think, 4 or 5 of them. The money one isn't on the first page though. I had to click through a little bit because I thought she took it off, and I wanted to recommend it to people. But I found it. It's just kind of buried a little bit. You can find it. But she has all kinds of books, and they're only $5 each, and it's a PDF, and you just download it. And then she's always doing classes, and they're so inexpensive. Always say I'm choosing instead of I have to. Saying I have to, so I don't have to do my accounting. I'm choosing to do my accounting. My friend Jenna is in a toxic relationship. Can you say I support genocide? Or you could say something like, I'm Jenna's friend and I will support her with whatever she needs. Because you don't also want to get in the middle. But wait till you get to the Court of Atonement part. And in Mary Jo's other books, Enhancing Your Life at the Court of Atonement, Making Peace with the Past, and I have Healing Your Family Tree. But there's bits about friends and stuff in there too. So go and look at her other books and see if you can find one that's going to apply to you. Anyway, let me get back to so I'm choosing to do my accounting to have a successful business, because accounting is part of the finances, are part of a business. Say I have to sends the message of being forced into your nervous system. Say I choose to sends a signal of calm and relaxed. You can actually feel the difference when you say it. Here's an exercise to help you notice how different the words I have to feels from I choose to. I have to decline. Do you feel that? Say it again. I have to decline. To me, it feels sick. It slows my energy down and gives me a sensation of being pulled back by my shoulders. Now try the other statement. I choose to decline. Does that feel better to you? I choose to decline. To me, it feels uplifting with a forward movement. The part of challenge with financial lack is that we talk about it in a way that holds back the flow. It's like shutting off a tap. I keep trying to clear the energy around money by using a simple Court of Atonement statement. So I'll give you an original Court of Atonement statement first so you understand what the Court of Atonement is. And there's a whole story. So she was having some problems and she heard atonement, atone at one meant. The Court of Atonement restores wholeness to the souls. So you can use it to heal relationships. So here's so you use your name, your full name. Full name. Place myself, full name, into a full Court of Atonement with money. I ask to have my timeline analyzed and correct all conflicts, problems, and or issues with money corrected at their points of origin. I ask for positive resolution of this energy. Doing this helps, but every word we speak has a frequency, and each frequency is different from the rest, even when the words are very similar. When we're trying to clear the energy around money, we must look for other words that mean money that would not be cleared by that command. So that's why this book is so thick. I'm going to show you. Now you have to just go get it yourself. It's only $5. And I'm not making any money from this. I just love Amy Jo. So you talk about promises and vows, how religion looks at money, dumping detrimental emotions, how you feel about people that have a lot of money, and work, and then how you can love money, and then all the words that mean money, you balance those out. I mean, look how thick this book is for $5. And then you go about how you're paying money, so it's income and outgo. And then she talks about how to clear the words that have to do with lack and feeling safe, being rich, and allowing money in. Like, look at this. So I've been doing like a page a day, and I've already noticed a shift. So that's what I highly recommend. And then Brad Yates, can I pull him up and show you guys on YouTube? Sarah Jordan, who I've had on my YouTube channel a couple times, talking about Helene Hadsel. She recommended him to me, and he's known as tapping with Brad. So here, I'm going to turn this around, and you can see oh no. I don't want to end the live. I wanted to flip the camera. Where's that? Oh, here it is. So there is, I can barely see it myself. There's Tap with Brad. So, okay, I want to go back to me. There we go. Yeah, I have some lights and equipment, and my desk is very full. Thank gosh it's deep, because I have these big lights. And the thing is, all the YouTube creators and stuff I learned from talked about having the lighting like right there so it's on your face. Well, guess what happens, right? The blue light, you can see my camera, my phone screen in my glasses. So I got big lights that come down that light me up, but I don't get the glare in my glasses. Anyway, so I really like Brad's tapping. That, and of course, I've been doing the Silva method. I don't know if you're familiar with the Silva method, because Helene Hadsel, well, actually, Tag Powell, the gentleman that wrote this book, and a whole bunch more. I bought the rights to all of these books from him. Oh, it goes right off the screen. I bought the rights to all of those books from him, so I'm republishing one at a time. So this was the first one, Money and You. This was the first one I did. So that was the original cover. This is what it looks like now. It's a little bit different. That, and I added a bunch of stuff. Like, he didn't have a resources section, and I started to pull quotes from the things. Anyway, and he was a Silva instructor, and Helene Hadsel, famous for winning every prize she ever desired, worked with Jose Silva. So I'm actually in the process of becoming a Silva instructor, because that only makes sense. And so those are some of the things that I'm expecting off. So I am blessed. I am blessed that I get to do my accounting. And that's how we have to do it. And I use a spreadsheet. And I have some Amazon receipts here. And I, for the life of me, can't remember if I had an Amazon folder already or not. And I have parking receipts. And I have gas receipts. I have Apple receipts. So, see, I have an Apple. I have an old podcast that's on Apple. Was this the one? Yeah. See, so now I have to match this up. I have to take the staple out and restaple it. So that's how you have to remove the money blocks, right? You have to be happy that you're getting to do this. I have to be, it's not a chore to do my accounting. I'm lucky that I have all these opportunities to help people in so many ways. Like Apple, I pay Apple to have my podcast up there, and all the old interviews, so people can go and listen and learn. That's fantastic that I'm lucky enough to have that. So you have to listen to the language that you use about money, right? Do you have your own business? Did if anybody has a side hustle, they should be keeping every receipt that could, potentially be a tax write-off And that's what I have here. So all the big files and things have gone. But look, this is already what I've done that's going to the accountant. This is the overflow. So how crazy is that? How crazy is that that's the overflow? So I'm already up to, what month am I on? August. So I have August, September, October, November, December to do. Plus I have my trips. So I go to the annual National Sweepstakes Convention every year. And last year we drove to Florida to buy the rights to Tag's books. So those 2 trips are there. And then there was probably another trip in there somewhere. What are my other trips? Oh, I went on a cruise. And that was crazy because I manifested it from Helene Hadsel's books. And Michigan. Why did I go to Michigan? What was the Michigan trip? Oh, I think I took my daughter and then I met with some colleagues there. So I wrote that off too. Anytime I can write something off, I always throw in some business. And if you can throw in business in whatever you're doing, it gives me an opportunity to read it off. Okay, we have 2 gas receipts here. So this is what I do. I sit here with this and I'm blessed. So I'm going to sign off now that I've given you a little bit of advice on how to remove the money blocks. So I'm going to give myself a shameless plug. Read Money and You by Tag Powell and do all the exercises in the book. And there's some great resources. Like I have a whole resources section at the back of the book. So all of the books that he recommended in the book. And then all these books that I recommend. And I added Amy Jo Ellis at the end. So the link to her is there too as a bonus. And then Tap with Brad, because he has an entire playlist. So when you go to Tapping with Brad Yates, click on playlists and scroll down and you'll find one on money and it has 54 videos in it. And then, so that's a great, that you could do, if you did a different one every day, you would pretty much take you 2 months to go through the whole list. So you could just cycle through it. And then the last resource is the Amy Jo Ellis and her Court of Atonement. And as a bonus, I highly recommend the Silva Method. And that's it for now as I go off to do my accounting.